The room was quiet, save for the faint rustle of flipping pages. I was lying on the bed. Gretel was sitting on the chair in the center of the room reading a book. I was too far away to get a clear look at the front cover, but I could tell it was some kind of math textbook. Given the circumstances, it was almost laudable of him to keep up on his schoolwork. Either that, or he was completely insane. I'm leaning towards the latter. Honestly, the more I tried to see things from his perspective, the less I understood. I feel that. He seemed like a sinner and a saint all wrapped up into one. He teased me, provoked me, and tied me up. Yet he never went further than that. Even his most condescending commands were never enforced. His worst offenses never crossed the line. It depends where your line is. Granted, this was all just my personal opinion. Other people would probably feel differently, and obviously it didn't make his actions permissible. Thank you. But if he was going to hurt me, he would have done it by now. Take these wrist restraints, for example. If push came to shove, I could untie them myself or even burn them off. I could escape if I needed to. And there was no way a guy as smart as Gretel had somehow failed to realize that. Want me to help you with your schoolwork? I called out to him in a cheerful voice, hoping to clear away the awkward tension from earlier.
No, thank you.
Come on, don't be shy.
I am not being shy.
He answered flatly, without sparing me a single glance. I pouted my lips. Then, finally, he looked up from his book.
Are you bored?
Yeah.
Then go to sleep.
I'm not tired.
I see.
His gaze returned to the book. There's nothing to do here. I'm bored. I flailed my legs in protest. But Gretel just ignored me, so I gave up. I couldn't even entertain myself by throwing a tantrum. If we were at home, I could be cooking or cleaning or doing laundry right about now, I muttered sulkily. The main room was fairly large, but here in total silence, any small sound would echo.
You should be grateful you don't have to waste your time with all that anymore.
Doing chores is never a waste of time.
Well, aren't you a saint?
Come on, let's play a game or something. At last, Gretel closed his textbook.
Do you want to play cards or something?
As long as it's not strip poker. I can't play cards without my hands.
Okay, then. How about word chain? The first word is chain. Okay, your turn.
Nectarine!
Equinox.
I should have known Gretel wouldn't make this easy on me. Xylophone.
Earwax.
Xenophobia.
Apex.
Xenograft.
Tax.
Damn you! Xanthic.
Complex.
Xenotransplantation.
How do you know so many words that start with X?
I memorized a whole bunch a long time ago, specifically in case this ever happened. I actually did something like that too. Many years ago. I've forgotten all of those words. I smirked smugly.
Clearly you have no life.
No, I just like to win. So you're giving up? Because that means I win.
Suit yourself. For the record, there are far more words that end in X than start with X.
This wiped the smirk right off my face. I flopped down on the bed and turned away from him.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you want to take a bath today?
Yes, please! I shot back up again. Even I was impressed with how quickly I was able to change my tune.
Perhaps you could pass the time with a nice long soak. They say it stimulates the metabolism, too.
Are you saying I need to lose weight? I scowled.
Not at all. If anything, that would detract from your big boobs. I'd hate to see you lose one of your best features.
Desperately, I bit back the urge to scream. Seeing as he somehow knew my panty size, it really came as no surprise to think that he probably knew my cup size as well. Just to be clear, you aren't going around making these inappropriate comments to anyone else, are you?
Of course not, sister. With any other girl, I'm a perfect gentleman.
You could be a gentleman with me too, you know. That said, this came as a bit of a relief. I was happy to know that he limited this rude, unreasonable behavior to me only. In a way, it made me special. And I liked the idea of having a special connection with him, even if it wasn't romantic, because I'm crazy.
Now then, I've got a change of clothes prepared for you, so go on in.
Great. What costume is he going to put me in this time? How do you respond to his request? Invite him to join you. You know? Maybe we should shift the, what am I trying to say? my words have just, like, flown away from my brain. I was gonna say paradigm. I don't think paradigm is the word I'm looking for. The balance of power. Yes, I want to shift the balance of power a little bit. We're either gonna make him upset or happy. I don't know. We'll find out. I decided to get my revenge by teasing him back. Hey, Gretel!
Yes?
Want to join me? Unfortunately, I was so nervous I tripped over my own tongue.
No thanks. I wouldn't want you to punch me while I'm naked.
That's what you're worried about? He shrugged me off casually. Defeated, I stared into space. I was kind of hoping he'd get a little more flustered than that, right? Pouting my lips, I glared at him. He smiled stiffly.
If you really want me to, I'm willing to wash your body, but you'd have to keep the restraints on.
Okay then, why don't you take one first? I hastily changed tack.
I suppose you make a good point. Perhaps it's more efficient if I hop in first.
Yes, good. Distraction. Gretel rose from his chair. I thought he was headed to the bathroom, but instead he walked up to me and patted me on the head. What?
So, what mischief are you planning to get up to while I'm in there?
Wow. It's like you don't even trust me.
So you're going to behave yourself?
Of course. I'm not you, you know. I laughed.
I see. Alright then, I'll see you in a bit.
And with that, he disappeared into the bathroom. Phew. Now then. Once I confirmed that the door was shut, I got up from the bed. Now that Gretel's in the shower, you decide to... Aren't these basically the same thing? I mean... It's not going to be a great revenge. It's just going to be a prank either way. But I like the wording of this one better. Heh. Time to get my revenge for all the humiliation he's put me through. I totally sounded like a villain from a shonen manga, but I didn't care.
Oh, one last thing.
Yeah! And so the villain's plan was foiled in one fell swoop. Why? Because Gretel had walked out of the bathroom in his underwear. As if someone had shone a flashlight in my face, I immediately realized I couldn't put my hands over my eyes, so instead I squeezed them shut.
Listen to you! How vulgar. You're supposed to be a woman, so why do you scream like an old man? What's the matter with you?
I could hear the annoyance in his voice. Oh yeah? Well, what's the matter with you? Either put a shirt on or shut the door!
Okay, I've shut the door.
But he's probably not behind it. Nice try, Gretel. I meant go back inside!
It appears I've taught you well.
I knew it! You were trying to trick me!
You can drop the little prude act, by the way. You've had to wash my underwear 100 times by now.
Your underwear is not the same thing as your naked body!
I'm not naked, though. I'm wearing boxers. Besides, this is nothing compared to your Harlequin novel. Weren't they rolling around half naked on the floor at one point?
La 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 la! I'm not listening! Ah! Unable to bear it, I dropped to my knees. All that screaming had left me out of breath. Then, after a moment, I heard the bathroom door open and shut. I raised my head and slowly, timidly opened my eyes. Evidently, Gretel had actually gone back into the bathroom this time. I could hear the water running. You'd think that would be enough to fool me, but the joke's on you! I whirled around to find no one there. Wait, what? He got us. Now then, where was I? Gretel's taking a bath. So what's my next move? If this were a perfect world, I'd have some cringy costume ready for him to wear, but unfortunately my life wasn't that convenient at present. So I decided to look through the cabin for any alternatives. Where will you investigate? Is this one of those things where it's like, one by one, we shall go through everything? I'm just gonna make a save just in case. But I'm assuming that's what's happening here. Let's start with the elephant in the room. I still can't get used to how creepy this thing is. I walked around the full circumference of the birdcage. It appeared to be an ordinary metal cage with no modifications, but it contrasted sharply with the rest of the decor, and my curiosity was drawn to it like a magnet. Oh, it opened! As I fumbled at the door handle with my bound hands, I felt the lock click open. And so I walked into the cage without a second thought. Being inside it felt much more cramped and oppressive than its external appearance would suggest. But I guess cages aren't really supposed to be comfortable. Well, at least we know how we'll feel later on, I guess. I wandered into the kitchen. Then I checked the cupboards and fridge, but couldn't find anything especially interesting. Phew. We only had paper plates and plastic silverware. Anything that could be used as a weapon, like the kitchen knives, were stored out of my reach. Evidently, he was looking out for my safety. Or maybe his own. It was hard to say. Yes. I peered under the bed. It was too dark to see much of anything. I squinted as best I could, but as far as I could see, the floor was perfectly spotless. Okay, this was one of those choices. And then I opened the closet to find my freshly cleaned clothes hanging up to dry. I didn't realize he hung them up for me. I turned around so I could feel whether they were all dry. Nice and dry. Good. It was still early winter, but with the wood-burning stove running 24/7, the interior of the cabin was toasty warm. That must have helped. Okay, winter. Still winter. Additionally, I could see some clothes I didn't recognize. There were a few shopping bags sitting on the floor of the closet. I reached in and found several more pairs of women's underwear. Oh. I knew he was only trying to be considerate, but I couldn't help but feel a little weirded out. Upon further inspection, I realized these all still had the tags attached. He really went out and bought me brand new underwear, huh? Granted, he might have ordered them online for all I knew, but I didn't understand why he couldn't have simply grabbed some from my room instead. Was there a reason he felt the need to purchase new ones? Why risk the embarrassment of buying women's underwear? Lastly, I stood in front of the wood-burning stove. The smell of ash met my nostrils, and when I bent down I could see embers still glowing faintly through the tiny glass window. So much for that, I guess. Gretel had extinguished the fire himself. Supposedly, he did it to keep me safe. But though the fire was out, there was still enough residual heat to keep me warm. I had now examined the entire cabin. Sadly, I had failed to discover anything especially interesting. But then again, I guess I already did most of the investigating yesterday. Well, now what? There was nothing left for me to do. I guess I don't have a choice. Oh well. The only option available to me was to make him laugh at my own expense. You guessed it, making funny faces. So I donned the weirdest face I could come up with and waited patiently for Gretel to come out of the bathroom. Oh, you're wearing your cafe uniform, huh? Interesting.
I'm back.
Then I burst out laughing. Yes, me, not him. Why are you wearing that? He had walked out wearing a waiter uniform of all things. I struggled to contain myself.
Don't I look good in it?
Oh, totally! Of course you do! I nodded vigorously. I'm sorry. I just wasn't expecting you to walk out wearing that.
Now we match, see?
Oh, you're right. We're like a cosplay couple. I made myself laugh again. Looking back, I'm not sure why I found this so hilarious. I guess it just struck my funny bone in such a way that caused a giggle fit.
Go on. It's your turn to take a shower, remember?
Gretel walked over and untied my hands and feet. I could smell a faint whiff of something nice. You smell sweet. I leaned in closer to his hair. I couldn't tell if it was vanilla or honey or what.
So do you, sister.
Then I remembered. There was only one kind of soap in the bathroom. Too bad I can't really smell my own scent. I sniffed my newly freed wrists. Gretel gave me a little push toward the bathroom.
Get going already. I'll fetch you some clothes.
He walked to the closet and pulled out a towel along with a change of clothes, underwear included. Are these the kind of panties you're into, Gretel?
But of course.
Embarrassed, I stared at the floor and regretted ever asking.
While you're in there, I'll make you something to eat. Any requests in particular?
Hit me with your specialty.
Very well.
After my shower, I changed into my new clothes and sat down to eat with Gretel. He had prepared cupcakes adorned with whipped cream and candied rose and violet petals. But these cupcakes weren't just pretty. They tasted amazing, too. Gretel had filled each of them with some sort of violet jam. Dang, that sounds nice. Plus, the tea he served me came with violet petals and mint leaves floating on the surface. All in all, it was very classy.
How is it?
Phenomenal!
Is it? I'm glad.
Okay. I was just thinking to myself, like, literally 2 minutes ago, when are we gonna flash back to the before times? Because I feel it's been a while. When we arrived home, I caught a whiff of something unpleasant. It reeks of cigarette smoke. I glanced over to find Gretel with a visible grimace on his face.
I'll be going to my room now, sister.
Oh, okay. Ryoshi. I watched him go, then turned and headed for the kitchen. Ryoshi! I flung open the door, and sure enough, there sat my older brother, Ryoshi, smoking a cigarette.
What do you want?
We're home!
Welcome back.
He shifted his disinterested gaze away from me and exhaled a cloud of smoke. No smoking in the house! I'm confiscating that! I snatched the cigarette away and put it out in the sink. Good job. Just have candy or something instead.
You mean this candy?
With his chin resting on his hand, he grabbed a nearby jar of star candies and held it out to me. Aren't those Gretel's?
They are indeed.
Pink, green, a rainbow of colors sparkled up at me through the glass.
I'm putting you in charge of these. Otherwise he'll eat too many while your back's turned.
But before I could accept...
You don't need to manage me.
Gretel walked in as if on cue.
I was wondering where they went. Did you go into my room, Mr. Hunter? I did. That's an invasion of my privacy. But you don't even feel bad about it, do you? As far as I'm concerned, you don't get any privacy from me. That attitude you have, that's the reason why I hate your guts.
Gretel snatched the jar away and bolted from the room. Wait! Gretel! Ryoshi! I snapped at him.
I don't know what you expect from me. The kid needs to be supervised.
Supervised? The word felt a little too harsh to use against a family member. You could stand to treat him with a little more kindness.
What he needs is tough love.
But we're family!
I am not his family, and neither are you. I know damn well you don't see him like a brother.
Ryoshi had seen through my act a long, long time ago.
There's nothing wrong with that, obviously. Feel however you want to feel. But know this, Eureka. He's not the precious angel you, Mom, and Dad all think he is. Granted, I do feel sorry for him and everything he's been through. And I can understand why you'd want to coddle him.
Well, I don't, so if somebody would like to explain one of these days, that would be great.
But your love for him is unhealthy. And if you raise him in an unhealthy environment, he'll turn out unhealthy too. He's already showing signs of it. You can't get too close to him. He'll just pull you down with him, and you'll regret it. This is a warning, you understand me? Don't enable his dependency. Otherwise, sooner or later, the next target of his aggression will be you.
And he was right. But what did he go through? I had a feeling you'd be here. I found Gretel sitting on a bench by the lakeshore.
Sister?
Can I sit with you?
Sure.
He moved the jar of candy beside him to make room for me to sit. Thanks. I plopped down next to him and turned in his direction. You ate all that? I pointed at the jar in his hands.
Eating them helps me calm down. That way, whenever I'm scared or frustrated, I can just stop caring instead.
His voice was lethargic. You heard Ryoshi, didn't you? It's not healthy to eat too many.
Right.
Plus, if you fill up on sweets, you won't want to eat dinner.
I have a separate stomach for dessert.
Right. But before I could continue, Gretel cut in.
Enough about that. How did you know I was here?
I know everything about you, Gretel.
This is an invasion of my privacy.
But we're family!
That changes nothing.
I fell silent. Then Gretel let out a long sigh and shook his head.
On second thought, I suppose you're a special exception.
I'm special? Yay! Thank you, O great and merciful Gretel! I pressed my hands together in reverence.
You're always so...
Gretel let out another exasperated sigh. So... what? I waited for him to continue. He looked at me for a moment and then... Gah! He pinched my nose.
So very annoying.
What did I do wrong? With my nose pinched between his fingers, my voice came out all nasally. Just then, Gretel raised his eyebrows and smiled.
I've got an idea. How about you lie down?
Here? On the bench?
You can use my lap as a pillow.
What? I wasn't expecting this proposal, and I froze. Karma. Then, after a long silence, what's gotten into you, dude? For some reason, I tacked on dude like I was wolf.
Nothing's gotten into me, dude. It just seemed like something you'd like, so I offered, dude.
Oh, I felt like such an idiot. I should have made some kind of joke about both of us sounding like wolf, but it didn't even occur to me.
Are you opposed to the idea? If it doesn't interest you, then don't worry about it.
No! I'm definitely interested. Please! I begged him desperately.
Alright then, go for it.
Gretel handed me his jar, then indicated his lap in a have at it gesture. I stared down at his thighs. Uh-huh.
Hurry up already.
Oh, okay. Hesitantly, I let him guide my head down onto his lap.
How is it? Comfortable?
Well, it's not very soft.
Good. I don't want flabby thighs. Maybe if I was a girl, but I'm not.
Right. Honestly, this was my first time putting my head in anyone's lap, so I wasn't sure how it was supposed to feel. Plus, I couldn't really relax with him staring down at me like that. To be honest, I don't know if this is comfortable or not. I can't really, focus. My heart was thumping uncontrollably in my chest.
Interesting. Is this your first time?
Maybe. I answered evasively.
I see.
Why was his tone so flat? I didn't know.
You can relax a little more than that, you know. The whole point is to rest your full weight on me.
He pressed my head firmly against his thigh. That was very firm. Ow! I think my neck just cracked. Dude, what the heck?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Truth be told, it kinda hurt, but not that badly. Am I heavy?
Not at all.
What if your leg starts to go numb?
If it does, I'll just shove you onto the ground.
He smirked at me. I buried my face in my hands and pretended to sob. You monster!
I'm just messing with you.
Laughing, he grabbed my hand.
Your hand's cold. I'll warm it up for you.
Without hesitation, he entwined his fingers with mine. This was no ordinary platonic hand-holding. A doofy smile spread on my face. Oh, Eureka, you doof. I caught myself a moment later, of course, but by then Gretel was already snickering at me.
If someone saw us right now, I bet they wouldn't guess we were brother and sister.
Yeah. I guess siblings don't really do this stuff, huh?
Not normally, no.
Yeah. Not normally. Both of us were fixated on the concept of normal. Probably because we knew full well we were anything but.
It would appear night has fallen.
Yeah. The days are short in the wintertime. I'd almost forgotten what season it was. The winters were always harsh here. Thankfully, it was still early into the season, but it was already fairly nippy outside, yet I scarcely felt it. Just a random thought, talking about winter. Do you think, if this is a mirror world that we're in with all these roots, and it's been winter every time, Does that mean in the real world it's actually summer? Because I think in the opening it mentions something about sleeping during the summertime. I can't remember specifically what the line was, but I wonder if the real world it's summer. Just something to think about. Was it the warmth from Gretel's hand?
What if we didn't go back?
Go back where? Home?
Yeah.
You don't want to?
Just answer the question.
Oh, right. I guess it depends on you.
Huh?
If you wanted to go home, then I'd go with you. And if not, then I wouldn't.
Ride or die, is that it?
Till death do us part. Wanna just run away from home together?
Oof. Tempting, but I know it's a bad idea. This is a trap, isn't it? What are you hoping to get out of it?
Who knows? Maybe I'll lure you in and gobble you up.
What a wicked little witch. Interesting wording.
Yeah, I know. I giggled. After a while, I noticed Gretel blinking his eyes sleepily. Are you tired, Gretel?
Yeah, perhaps a bit.
Want to trade off?
No, I'm fine right here.
He squeezed my hand and closed his eyes. You can take a little nap if you want. I'll wake you in a bit.
You won't leave me here asleep, will you?
Don't worry. No matter what happens, I won't let go. That line again, but for Gretel this time. Reassuringly, I squeezed his hand back.
No matter what? You promise?
Yeah.
No matter what I do?
No matter what.
Even if it costs you your life?
Sure, I'll die for you. I nodded without missing a beat. Gretel stared at me, eyes wide. Then he furrowed his brow. What?
That's extremely creepy, actually. You frighten me.
Wow, rude. The rejection stung.
Keep your melodramatic comments to yourself next time.
You're the one who asked! I pouted and Gretel averted his gaze.
Why are you willing to go that far for me?
Because I love you. And I'd do anything for someone I love.
Would you say the same thing to anyone else in the family?
Probably not. Just you, Gretel. Dang, poor Ryoshi.
So I'm special, is that it?
Yep, you're the special exception.
I see.
He closed his eyes.
Mr. Hunter still doesn't trust me, does he? Let me guess. He thinks I'm going to hurt someone.
My heart skipped a beat, and not in a fun, romantic way. Instead, what I felt was...
Are you afraid of me, sister? Do you not trust me? Is that why you spend every single day with me? Are you supervising me on his orders?
No, I'm not. I'm just worried about you, Gretel.
Same difference. If you actually trusted me, then you wouldn't worry.
My chest ached.
You claim that I'm special to you, but I have to wonder what kind of special you mean.
Gretel, With his eyes closed and his voice perfectly level, I couldn't read his emotions whatsoever. What honeyed words could I whisper to sate him? I fell into thought. I love you. You're special to me. In the end, I settled on words of affirmation.
Truth be told, I think I enjoy your special treatment, sister.
He bent down and planted a kiss on my forehead.